Hey guys, what's up? It's Ken from the Disney Movie Review. I just got out of A Wrinkle in Time, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on this. And I think it's really important to point out, very first off, that overall, I think this is a good movie. Overall, because there are some things in it that I really did not like. The first act really drug, whatever. It drug a long time. It was really, really boring for me, and I really did not like it. But I think if you sit there through the first act, through like the first 30 minutes, maybe it's 45 minutes, I don't know, it feels like a long time to me. But if you sit there and you get to like the second act and the third act, you'll get really drawn in. But I think in the first part of this movie, you really have some bad acting. I feel like the story is more book and less movie. And you may not think that's a bad thing, but here's my thought when it comes to books that are turned into movies, right? These are two different formats, and they're two different formats for a reason. And so while I think Ava DuVernay was really true to the spirit of the book, and she did change some things, in some ways I also feel like she didn't go far enough to make this more of a movie rather than just having it be a book. That being said, there were a lot of things to like about this movie. There's wonderful cinematography in this. The guy, Tobias Schleicher, did amazing things with light. You really got to pay attention to what he does with light, because this entire movie is about light and fighting for the light and good and different things like that. And the way he kind of positions the light in this film, I think is just amazing. He does such a great job. And again, I already talked about the acting. There was some acting that I didn't like, but I gotta give a huge, huge round of applause to Derek McCabe. He's the little boy that plays Charles Wallace in this film, and he carries the entire like third act of this movie, the climax and all of this stuff. But there is something I think if you're a dad or I think you'll really appreciate this movie if you're a dad. And to tell you why would get into some spoiler territory that I don't want to get into. We're going to get into that on Monday on the Disney Movie Review. You can find that on the DisneyMovieReview.com, or you can get, your podcast, whatever you listen to, iTunes, Stitcher, we're on all of them. But I think it's really an impactful movie for dads, kind of in the way that Mary Poppins was. It just in some of those veins. I also do think that this is going to be hit probably harder than it should be. It's a Tomorrowland situation where you have a very positive movie, but I think there are some other things that are working against it, like the fact that the main characters are preteens and they have this sort of romantic thing, but if they really kissed on screen, it would be really awkward, so they never really have them do that. So it's just kind of, you're watching this and it's just kind of weird. And then there's also, like I said, there's some story things, there's some acting things. I really feel like, this is in a vein of 7 to 8. My wife thought that this was a 5 out of 10. I feel like this is a 7 or 8 out of 10. I'm still kind of processing some things, but I can guarantee you by some of the major movie websites, it's going to get hit really hard. And there's a couple of reasons why I think people are going to go especially hard on this movie when really in reality it's going to be better than what people rate it. But anyways, we're going to get into all of that this weekend on the Disney Movie Review. Again, check us out on Monday, thedisneymoviereview.com. And until then, have a magical day.